Hi, my name's Summer May-Finlay. I'm a Yorta Yorta woman and I was brought up on Awabakal country, which is the country you can see behind me. I'm a PhD student and I work in Aboriginal public health as well, policy and research. I just want to acknowledge the country that I'm talking to you from today, Awabakal country. It's a beautiful country, and I'd also like to acknowledge the country that you are on today. I'd also like to pay my respect to elders past and present and to all Aboriginal people out there. Social media can actually be a really strong advocacy tool. There's multiple ways it can be used. It can be used to advocate for funding. We can actually talk directly to our politicians that way. I mean, I do it all the time with the Just Justice campaign and other things that I feel really strongly about. And you will find that over a period of time, people will communicate back with you. One of the things you want to do if you are using them as an advocacy tool is making sure you target the people that you want to actually target. Putting their handles or their names in different posts is a really useful way of drawing their attention. But also putting it at the bottom of an email, if you have an email about the page that you're actually talking about, or your Twitter handle, is really good as well. One of the things that probably is best to avoid is actually talking about how they took their own lives. We don't want to actually see people in the community see that method and think that that is something that they could do. One of the things with social media that we do a lot is sharing, and I've been guilty of it, of actually sharing something that I haven't read just because it comes from somebody that I like or know, or maybe I only read the first paragraph. But it's really important when you're actually sharing stuff to read the whole article, because what we don't want to do is actually have the first part be really good and then the second part actually be talking about stuff that is really unhelpful for people who are really vulnerable. So if you are going to be sharing things about suicide on social media, just take the time to read it, because you never know what's going to be in it and you don't know how that's going to affect somebody else that reads it. When someone's made an attempt on their own life or actually taken their own life, it's really normal to want to speak out, to say something, to be angry or to support community or to talk about preventative solutions. And that's really important to do. You just need to remember that once you put it out in the public space, it is public, it's there to stay, and even if you delete it, it's really hard to take it back because people have seen it. So you just want to be really careful about putting things up and making sure that this is really what you want to say and that you're happy for that to be up there basically forever. Our mob love putting up photos on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And when we're actually doing that for someone that's taken their own lives, just put some thought into what photos you're going to put up. What we want to do is celebrate their life and mourn them as a person, but what we don't want to do is make it seem like it's a good option to somebody. I love social media. Social media is fantastic. It's an extension of what we'd call the Koori grapevine. One of the drawbacks of social media is that it can be a tool for bullying, whether it's intentional or unintentional, and it's something that we need to be mindful of. Some of the things that can be considered bullying are talking negatively about someone online. It can be about making fun of people as well, or it can be posting comments on people's photos that's not very nice. It could be stalking someone or hacking somebody's account. Once it's out in the public space and social media is public, you can't take it back. My litmus test is, would I say that to my mother? If I wouldn't do it, then I won't post it. If you are being bullied online, there are some ways you can actually protect yourself. All social media has mechanisms which allow you to block people or mute them, so at least you can't hear what they're saying. And if it's really bad, you can actually report them. One of the best ways to protect yourself is actually having a talk to somebody. Make sure you do talk to somebody if you're feeling hurt by the comments that are made online, and it isn't nice, and you have every right to feel upset if someone's talking badly about you. If you do read something negative about yourself online, something that's not very nice, think about the fact that it is always easier to pick up a phone or use a computer and say something nasty, that person's hiding behind their device, and that it actually really probably isn't about you. You need to remember that while this person may be saying something that's not very nice right now, that there are people that love and care about you think about those people, think about all of the nice things people have ever said about you. Because what they're saying about you is not the whole sum of you, and it really reflects on them more than it does on you. And the other thing is, if someone does actually bully you online and say something nasty, your best course of action is not to respond. Ignore it. It's not easy to do. Always remember that you are a hell of a lot more than whatever someone is saying about you right now. And they're people who love and care about you. Everyone uses social media, right? I think I've got about 5 or 6 different platforms. It's a really good way of actually reaching out to someone. If you're worried about someone, direct message them, send them a message and ask them how they're doing. Saying a positive message is really helpful, whether it be that you look nice in that dress in that photo, or that I saw you or down the street, or your mum told me you're doing something that's really exciting. But actually sending someone an unprompted positive message can make a world of difference to how someone's feeling. And when people are feeling vulnerable, they need their communities and their families around them. And reaching out to them through social media is a really, really good way to talk to somebody. Talking about suicide can be really hard on people. It's hard when you've lost someone. It's hard when this has affected other people you care about. If this has triggered something for you today, please make sure that you actually reach out and talk to somebody, whether it be a health professional at your local Aboriginal medical service, or whether you're talking to an elder, a friend or a family member. The most important thing is that you take care of yourself, because you can't take care of your community and your family if you don't take care of yourself.